Toronto's a pretty big place in Canada. I mean, the core of downtown Toronto, in terms of kilometers, isn't actually that big. Population is extremely dense, right? Lots of high-rise buildings, lots of really tall condos and apartments and things like that. You can fit a lot of people there. It's quite chaotic. So Toronto's like maybe this big, and then there's something called the GTA. And no, not the video game, but it's called the Greater Toronto Area. I believe that encompasses regions like Mississauga, Etobicoke, things like that. So like Toronto's just become so big that it's acquired other spaces. And when they talk about Toronto area, they talk about the GTA. Again, not the video game, called Greater Toronto Area. And there's a lot of people that live there. I think there's several million people, 3, 4, 5 million people, I think, that live in the GTA. And we're seeing a rise in deaths. I mean, there's a lot of people that are going to die with that amount of population anyways, right? So we're seeing a rise specifically in obese, out of shape doctors. I think it's obese, out of shape doctors. Let's take a quick look here. Oh, nope. In shape triathlete doctors that are extremely healthy. Huh. Well, that's not good. Let's read. Triathlete 27 becomes 5th GTA doctor to die in July. Yeah. So we're not talking about like out of shape, obese doctors that got like 7 chins that are being wheeled around, that have lots of underlying health conditions. No, we're talking about like very athletic doctors, people that are in shape, people that you think, yeah, they're going to live a long time. Dr. Candace Nayman, 27, a resident at McMaster Children's Hospital in Hamilton, collapsed while swimming in a triathlon and died 4 days later. That's horrible. She's the 5th doctor to die in July. She radiated positivity and lived a vibrant and active life. This is scary. We're seeing a lot of sudden deaths from people that shouldn't die. And you know what? Reading stuff like this gives me like the goosebumps because, man, I got a kid on the way. We're like less than 3 months away from my daughter being born, and I've never wanted to live more than I do now. I want to go as long as I can, right? When you actually have something to live for in life, it sounds a little depressing. And I don't mean that as like, if you don't have kids, you don't have anything to live for. That's not at all what I mean. So don't take that out of context. What I mean is like, it's always just been me, and I've just been kind of chilling, I've lived in a van for like the past 4 years. I've gone around different cities. I've traveled around. I've had a really good time, and it's been awesome. There hasn't been regrets. I've got 2 lovely dogs. I got family. I've got friends. This isn't like a precursor to something bad that's about to happen, right? But now that I've got, I'm starting my own family, I'm scared to death. I'll be honest. I'm scared to death. And reading these stories is more frightening than ever, because I mean, people are just dropping dead left, right, and center, and it's got me worried, man. It's got me worried. So I'm walking more. I'm trying to take better care of my health. But I mean, Exhibit A, right? This doctor, she was in excellent tip-top condition. She was a freaking triathlete, man. I'm not even a single athlete. I'm half an athlete. I'm an ath. I've got lots of people that call me an ath. An asshole. Okay, let's switch over. She was the loving daughter of Nicole and Gary. I hate reading like obituaries, man. And the sister of Lauren, her twin, and Maurice as well as partner to Seth Kiddish. Reason obituary. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. I hope her family is doing okay. All right. Thursday, July 28th. She was competing and doing what she loved. Her obituary states. Family, friends, and peers gathered Thursday for her funeral, which has not only shaken her family, but rocked the already shaken medicine fraternity. I'll go out on a limb and say that it's likely she was. Now, here's the weird correlation between these 5 doctors is that they were all vaccinated, right? That's weird. And they were all deemed to be healthy individuals. Now, I don't know the age of the other doctors, but a 27-year-old healthy person with no underlying health conditions just dropping dead is a little frightening, right? As you know, I've publicized this before, and I'm not ashamed to talk about it. I'm embarrassed that I actually kind of got it done. But you know, I am vaccinated, and this does frighten me a lot, right? This is scary. I know that I can't remember what it's called, but it's a heart condition, Mayo something. I don't know. It's like increased heart attacks, and it's got me freaked out, man. I want to live a long life. I want to see my daughter grow old, right? Candace was an aspiring pediatrician who exemplified hard work, radiated positivity, live a vibrant and active, healthy lifestyle. All right. So we've already read that stuff. She will be missed very much. I bet. I really do. There's simply no words. Okay, so this just seems like a bit of a obituary, whether it was academically, athletically, musically. She thrived in all aspects of her life. So she was a very involved person. She did a lot, right? We've kind of covered that. Not to dismiss the death, but I do want to get to more of like the science stuff of this article. This has been a tough week that just got worse with this news. 4 other local doctors have died this summer. Trillium Partners staff physicians, Dr. Jacob, that just happened. Dr. Stephen McKenzie, Dr. Lorne Segal died last week, just days after the tragic death of North York General Hospital's Dr. Paul Hannum. I used to go to North York General because I lived sort of close there. An Olympian who died during a run at 50 years old. Oh my God. In all 4 cases, their hospitals made it clear their deaths were not related to the vaccine. So it's kind of weird when there's a death and like the immediate response is it actually doesn't have anything to do with the vaccine. It's kind of weird, right? Like, why would you say that? It's like walking into to a friend's house and they're like, it's, you know, it's not normally that messy or something like that, right? Or, oh, I should have done that, or I should have done this. It's a little weird. It's like a precursor. It's you're trying to bury it right away. You're trying to dismiss it. And you know what? Actually going out of your way to mention the fact that it has nothing to do with the vaccine will only bring more attention to the fact that this likely might have something to do with the vaccine, right? That seems to be the train of thought here is why would you say that right out the gate? Okay. The cause of death in Dr. Nayman's case has not yet been released. I've always admired and been inspired by her and wished I could be more like her, said her friend since grade 9. That's rough, man. And she's Dr. 27 years old. Like, that smart person. So that's the end of that article. I guess, yeah. I guess there's no more information on the doctors, right? Why would they want to be releasing information about more, doctors dying? And don't worry, though, it has nothing to do with the vaccine. And for all we know, plain devil's advocate, that could also possibly be true. Maybe it doesn't have anything to do with the vaccine, but the fact that when people die, and there's been like high profile, cases where like Justin Bieber, him and his girlfriend, right? They've had some pretty significant health issues recently. And people come out right away and like, yeah, it has nothing to do with the vaccine. And he's got like half his face was paralyzed and stuff like that. Like whatever happened to those articles? It got popular, went viral for like a day, and then it just got swept under the rug. But I mean, everything is kind of, that's everything's got its literal 15 minutes of fame. For one day, there's a popular topic because the next day something equally if not more popular is happening, and they just keep happening, right? Vaccine injuries keep happening. It's a real thing. It's not mis or disinformation. For crying out loud, Canada has allocated millions of dollars to a vaccine injury program, right? It's called VIP. It's a real thing that I've covered on this channel, in the past few weeks. And someone in BC was the first person to be awarded a vaccine injury program award, a compensation of 6 or 7 figures we can only imagine. And so what about the death of these doctors, right? How are you able to clearly show that that this isn't an anomaly, right? If you have 100 people that are extremely healthy, and most of those people that are vaccinated and who don't have underlying health conditions start dying or start to have health problems moving forward in the next couple of years, if they haven't already begun, how do you pinpoint this as, no, this was probably triggered by the vaccine? Or it could have happened, it could have been inevitable, it might have happened 20 years from now, but maybe it was exacerbated by the vaccine. And this is the issue, and this is the skepticism behind the vaccine, is because there's so many health problems that have happened. There's like hundreds of thousands in Canada of health problems, of heart murmurs, of blood clots, of people dying, myocarditis, or whatever the words are called, right? Even Justin Bieber, like I said, half his face was paralyzed. And so this is a huge issue. And if I were to take a guess and say, will the companies that have issued these vaccines, will they be on the hook to pay the medical bills and to pay compensation? I'm going to go out on a limb and say they probably won't be. They're probably exempt because they've locked in the data for their vaccines, right? It's all locked in for like 70 years from now when we're all dead. So anyone who's taken the vaccine, right, and who has an injury, the best thing that's available is the government giving you a little bit of money, but ultimately you're not ever going to be able to go after Pfizer and things like that because they've locked in their data for 50, 70, or 100 years or something like that. So that's very greasy, and I wish people paid a little bit more attention to that, and I wish that there was a way for us to actually get that information from those companies. You should not be able to do that for such a lengthy amount of time. It should all be public, and it should all be transparent, right? And that's the move going forward, is companies, medicine that's the most transparent is going to be the most appreciated and welcomed by the general public. The fact that all the vaccine information is not available to the public, that it's locked in for an amount of time until we're all dead, is, well, that speaks volume even in silence. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Like and subscribe if you have not already. And if you made it this far, then you already know that the canvases are for sale. 8x10 canvases. They're signed. There's a limited amount, limited edition Mr. Speaker. That background that we had from the House of Commons. It is coming back. And you know what? Since you made it this far, I'll do it. Mr. Speaker. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.